What's up, good people of Earth? Thank you very much for clicking this video. You are respected. Straight out of Africa with good vibes, love, peace, and forgiveness. You are very respected here for clicking. Today's video is it's a very nice compilation, a blend of everything. Watch till the end and leave your comments. Tell us where you're watching from and let's dive in. Good vibes only.
Oh my god. Do you see that? Isn't that insane? This is the biggest soursop you've ever seen in your life. Look at this monster. Look at this. You see that? It's a giant. It's double the size of my head. Okay, here we go. You ready? Oh my god. That is so delicious. It's gigantic. It's difficult to swallow even. That's one of the best soursops I've ever had. Slightly sour, beautifully sweet, and extremely juicy and creamy at the same time. What a beast! Look how much food! It's just one fruit. This is the half of one fruit. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, good vibes! That's a beautiful fruit. Oh, oh man.
Melanated people are not meant to eat acidic foods. Melanated people are meant to consume alkaline foods. Melanated people are meant to consume melon. When melanated people eat watermelon, it's like gold. And so vilifying watermelon helps you hurt yourself. I don't eat watermelon. No, I don't do that. You're supposed to. And yes, you do have an appetite for it. But now all of a sudden you don't want to eat watermelon? Watermelon is the world's largest vine fruit. And it is literal gold.
Yo. You see here we have plenty of them.
When people say the killer whales are social animals, it's usually with respect to other killer whales. But we have seen instances like this one where killer whales are just social and want connection otherwise. The whale you see here is Luna. He was separated from his pod, L-pod of the southern resident community off the coast of Washington and British Columbia. And he's here seen socializing with a dog. But that's not all. He would go to different mariners along the coast, this is the west coast of Vancouver Island, and play with whatever they had on their boat. In this instance, he had a hose and decided to do his best to have a water gun fight with the people on board. Now, it is worth noting that this is what the extreme of extremes of wild killer whale interest in Splashdown, but killer whale interest in humans looks like. This animal is coming up to people, and did come up to people for a long time, looking for some semblance of social connection. To the point where people would go and put their hands in the mouth of this wild killer whale, and it was okay. Now, you're going to see a close-up of the dog, which is absolutely adorable, and another instance, like I said, of looking for connection. However, the thing that I want to stress is that this is a beloved whale, and even with international cooperation, we still weren't able to save him from the propeller of a tugboat. That being said, you've seen this whale. He was interested in the people on board. The thing that I want to stress to you is that if you watch the videos of the orcas off the coast of the Iberian Peninsula, the Gladys whales we've been hearing about all summer, they're interested in object-oriented play around the rudder. They don't care about the people. It's object-oriented play around the rudder. And the reason I want to stress this is because if we want to protect, one of the most iconic species that exists in the world, or at least a population of them, it starts by the way in which we talk about it. The orcas in the Iberian Peninsula, they're already getting shot at. And so if we can change the conversation even a little bit, I think it personally goes a long way. If you want to hear more about the Iberian orca situation, follow around. I'm going to have a blog and a podcast up soon. Otherwise, my name is the Orca Man. I talk about killer whales. That's what I do. And if you want to hear more, stick around.
Look at this here. This was probably 200 years ago, and when it first grew, it grew pretty fast.
Then the forest got dense, and then now you can't even count them. Honest to God, there's 15 at least. Look at the growth rings there, how tight they are. Just stayed old growth till they're right here, and then they logged. And they cut the old growth out of here. And this tree was left behind. You see how it took off? Man, I mean, this is the finest stuff. You can't, look at that. I don't know, can you see my fingernail there? Look how many growth rings are in the fingernail. Gosh, that thing is tight, tight, tight. We call them bastard growth now.
Oh, see, let's see this before the... What? Oh, look at this. Whose clothing is this with this drawing? Is this the Pop's clothing? Oh my God. Look, what type of drawings are this? You guys, what do you think these are, man? These things now. Why would they draw such type of drawing there? Looks like they shared types of drawings or stones. Ha! Why just that drawing? Why not any other? Is this symbolic or mean something? Oh my God! What? Oh my God! What is happening? Wow. Much love to you. If you have watched up to this, you are a wonderful human and loved. Much respect to yourself. Good vibes only.
Y'all seen this right here yet? I know y'all hadn't because it don't exist on the internet. I'm the only one that's got it. Look at that pyramid in the graveyard.
Why is it actually triangular? Why is it a pyramid?
I don't know.
Why is there a pyramid out here?
What's going on?
What is going on?
What is that? I've never been over here before.
That's like cool.
It's really cool.
I feel like I'm gonna get cursed.
Don't say that. Jump. Come on. What is that? I've never seen anything like it. It's like the pyramids or something. Seriously, can you see it? Wow, I wonder who lives in there.
What? Who lives in there?
Look at the chains on there. Holy
Oh my
crap.
God, who's in there?
Look at that.
We're not going out.
No, who built that thing in the graveyard?
What happens when you leave a wine for 44 years? This is a 1979 Barolo. I took a gamble and bought this online, and it's the sort of wine that could be incredible. Barolo has all the right characteristics for aging potential. It's been kept in this sort of Hessian covering, which means that very little light will have got in. That's a good thing, but it also means it was very hard to get a good look at it and see what that wine was like. Jimmy Carter was the president when this wine was made. Margaret Thatcher was just coming to power. It's been sitting there a long time. Once I got it out and got it decanted, this was what greeted me. And this can only be described as a muddy brown sludge. Get a look at that. Despite that, I have to know what it tastes like. Curiosity has got the better of me, or maybe curiosity has killed the cat. Here goes. Fair to say that it tasted how it looked. No fruit, no flavour, just sharp, tangy horribleness. It tasted like a pickled onion that your dad bought from a pub in the 1980s.
Yo, the sky is fucking blue! And then it turned off! Yo!
I got that on camera. I got that on camera. I got that on camera.
First thing was, Feds just went that way. You what? Feds. No lights.
What the fuck? Bitch, what? Hey, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Everybody knows something's up. Everybody knows. That is not normal. Everyone is looking up, wondering why the sky is split. Look. The sky is broken. And everybody knows something's fishy, don't you? It's fishy, ain't it?
You know, that's the first time I ever seen this.
That's right.
It's fishy.
Follow for more.
Who's messing with the crowds, man? Oh my god.
No, why is he doing it? Why is he like that?
Oh, he's so cute.
Why is man chilling like that so close? He knows there's food coming.
Hello. Why is he so cute? Hello. Do you have any friends out in the wild?
Oh, that's so beautiful. Which type of fire?
Alright, so remember this lady.
For angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus.
Her name's Paula White Kane. I like to say Paula Angels from Africa White Kane. I don't know what it is with her in Africa, but she is Trump's former spiritual advisor, whatever that means. And apparently she just claimed that she helped Nelson Mandela, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, or Madiba, free South Africa from the evils of apartheid. And it's a pretty bold claim. And get this, the Nelson Mandela Foundation was like, where? We don't know you. So what's happening here? So Paula White Kane is currently the senior pastor of the City of Destiny Church in Apopka, Florida. She made this assertion during the Universal Peace Federation's Peace Summit. She says that back in 1984, she actually met Mandela, started working with him to abolish apartheid. But then Mandela's foundation responded because they couldn't substantiate her claims. The head of the archive and research for the Mandela Foundation told the Christian Post that they could not locate any records that verified that. Quote, "We have searched our holdings and we do not find anything on Paula White." This is from Razia Saleh. Now, the Nelson Mandela Foundation is a nonprofit that's focused on the memory, the dialogue, and legacy work, and it was founded by Nelson Mandela himself in 1999, and they say that we are the custodians of his life and times. We are committed facilitators of his living legacy, and we are mandated to promote his lifelong vision of freedom and equality for all. This is from their website. So if anyone would know, they would. Now, I'm still personally checking with my sources on the ground whether African Angels ever actually answered her call to come to America and aid former President Trump. But since he lost the election, I'm assuming they were too busy actually dealing with, you know, the fallout of white supremacy and colonialization in Africa and trying to help Africa rise. They're busy with African issues. They don't have time for American stuff. But if I hear otherwise, I'll let you know.
Oh, but here they are angels for it. Please don't take that lightly.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. And then, I mean, it's such a simple question, and it's haunted me ever since. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourself that question. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on? And who are we actually paying for the privilege of being alive here? Who made them the boss? Who put them in charge? We're looking at a war over water, when instead of feeding the military-industrial complex, we could be building desalination plants all over the world. So everybody could have water, so they could grow crops. But are we doing it? Hell no. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to empower people to grow food and take care of themselves? Then we can't control them. He just looked at me and he said, I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born.
These things really are good, but we have a lot
You
of
guys remember
fibers.
that really popular movie from the 90s with Sandra Bullock called The Net, short for the internet? Anyways, in The Net, Sandra Bullock is running from the bad guys, and in her hand she's got a floppy disk, the big floppy disk. And on the floppy disk is very important information, and the bad guys don't want her to have it, so she's running from the bad guys. That's kind of what's happening right now. The last 3 years, that's kind of what happened. We have in our hands some very important technology, and we're trying to give it to the people of the world, and the bad guys don't want us to do that. And this new technology is called Web3, the next level of the internet, which includes a whole new structure of how our world will operate. It will be a decentralized world. Think futuristic kind of stuff. No more middlemen. Who are the middlemen? The bad guys. You see, AI is going to take a lot of our jobs, but AI is also going to take their jobs too, and they're freaking out and panicking because they got a lot to lose. They got a hordes of wealth. They have a slavery system. They don't want to give that up. They got a lot of power. So they're freaking out. But this technology is so big that we have protected it. Our best guys have protected this, and it is coming to us. We are already using artificial intelligence. Nothing can stop this new technology from coming to the people of the world. I'm not making this up. This is literal. It's slowly happening. We have to naturally adopt it. And meanwhile, they're freaking out. So when you hear people say things like, hey, we should put a stop to AI, it could be dangerous. Bad guy. Technology is a computer system. It's a calculator. It doesn't have a psycho ego. The new technology that's coming, AI, is going to empower the world. Decentralization is coming. Smart contracts, a tokenized economy, digital currency that we own, our own information that we own. It's a whole new world for the people. No more tyrants, no more wars. Damn, this is literally the net. Because it's the next level of the internet. This is the net part 2.
Oh my god.
Popular social media star Speed appeared on a TV dating show, and during one of the show's interviews, something strange happened. Partway through his conversation, one of his eyes suddenly takes on a strange appearance. It seems reptilian-like, and many viewers immediately suggested that Speed could in fact be part of the conspiracy that lizard people have taken prominent positions on our planet. Is this just a trick of the light, or is Speed a member of the lizard people?
Okay, I'm confused about this backyard here. Oh. Like, this is supposed to be my backyard, right? And then when I go downstairs, I know it's not gonna be the same. What the shit? I'm literally confused. I swear. I don't know. Like, where's all my cans?
This happens to me every day. Look, that's a RAV4 on level 3. It's right there, right? The third spot down. Now, I swear to God, this happens to me every fucking day. I park on, always on the fourth floor, but always different places. Level 4. My fucking RAV4. Dude, this happens to me every day. Every day. Look how many spaces there are in here. On level 3, a RAV4 is always parked in the same exact space that I fucking am. It's weird.
Follow for more.
God, these things, they're always freaking me out.
My whole fucking life, I thought these motherfuckers scooped up mud with their tails like a shovel, and they just pack it like a person.
Oh, that thing, but such
Did
a
y'all
big
see what
stuff.
Biden said? They had to cut him off from the mic. Check it out.
Nobody likes having celebrated international meetings if you don't know what you want at the meeting. If you don't have a game plan. He may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. Yeah, we talked about at the conference overall. We talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the southern hemisphere had access to change it, had access. It wasn't confrontational at all. You came with Mary.
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, somebody said there should be a age cutoff. Again, I do think that's kind of ageist, but this is not looking good. And, you know, the whole talk about the third world and the southern hemisphere is like, it makes you wonder, like, is there some kind of logic to that? Like, did he just release information that was not supposed to be released and that's why he got cut off? Or did he get cut off because he's old and he's losing his mind? So it's the state of our affairs for the United States of America. American dream, y'all.
Oh, this surprises me. What did you understand from
Howdy,
what
y'all.
you said?
And a lot of people have been telling me, hey, man, the Bible's been changed. There's stuff missing from it. And I said, nah, you joking. Well, they said Matthew 17, verse 21 ain't there in the Bible anymore. Someone took it out. I said, you full of it. So come over here. Come over here and take a look. This is Matthew 17. And we're going to go 19. There's 20, because your little faith. Okay. It's got to be right after that. Verse 21. Verse 22. There's no 21. So I told myself, let's go get an old Bible. Get an old 1800s Bible. Matthew 17, 21. And what do you know? Here's chapter 17, verse 21. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So somebody changed the Bible, and then I found out there's tons of verses that have been changed and are missing and are added to the Bible. How can we trust this book?
Oh my God! Who would do that?
Let's try whipping a whole egg, a white plus a whole yolk in it. After 2 minutes, that's frothy but not stiff at all. You can see why people doing this by hand in the old days would have just given up by now, but we live in the age of power tools, so let's see if we can't make a foam out of this egg yet. After 10 minutes of full power beating, that's starting to look like loose mayonnaise. Check it. Those are soft peaks. I kept going for another 5 minutes for a total of 15, and I never got any better. Very soft peaks, but peaks nonetheless. And this is very stable because egg yolk contains phospholipids, not just triglycerides. It's a rather appealing substance, this heavily whipped whole egg. I wonder if we could do anything with it. Let's try frying it in a nonstick pan with plenty of butter. Maybe this will get us the fluffiest scrambled eggs ever. It's funny, this is a really hot pan, but those eggs are barely sizzling. The eggs are full of air, and air is actually a pretty bad conductor of heat compared to water or fat. So heat from the pan is having trouble reaching the inside of this mass through all of that insulating air. Took me a while to get this cooked, and boy, what appetizing eggs. Maybe they taste better than they look? Nope, real dry and spongy. What if we tried something else? Let's try mixing some sugar into a whipped whole egg. Sugar generally helps egg foams up to a point, and in here I've got some hot milk, flour, more sugar, and vanilla. Let's fold this in, and then theoretically we should have souffle batter. This is exactly what normally is in souffle batter. We've just combined the ingredients in a novel way. Throw that in the oven. For comparison, let's do this the normal way. Separate out the yolk, whip the white by itself with a little sugar. Sugar really helps with the peaks. And then here I've got hot milk, flour, sugar, and the yolk. Normally you'd want to heat that base until it thickens a bit before folding it in, but I'm trying to keep this experiment as similar to the previous one as possible. The only difference is where the egg yolk was when we whipped our foam. Into a ramekin, throw that in the oven. And souffle number 1 is done! Yum! I guess that's why we separate our eggs before we beat them for souffle. In contrast, here's our quick and dirty conventional souffle made with separated egg. Not the best one I've ever made, but at least it's actually a souffle. So I hope I've made my point. A little bit of egg yolk absolutely will mess up your foam, and a little bit of oil will be even worse for it. But while we're doing egg experiments, there's 2 other things I want to check. What if we dropped a little oil in the egg whites, but we gave it another stabilizing ingredient to compensate, like sugar? That's a more real-world situation anyway. People always make meringue with sugar. Hey, that's actually a little better. I mean, it's still a relatively meager foam, but that's better. Let's wait a couple of minutes and see how stable it is, and nah, it's disintegrating. Not as bad, but still a no-go. Okay, last thing I want to check. What happens if you whip pure yolk? There's one yolk in the bowl, and I've got another one that I can use to bulk this out. Not much happens in the first couple of minutes. Again, back in the days before electric mixers, people probably would have given up by now, but let's push ahead with the power of modern technology. After 5 minutes, it's no meringue, but it kind of looks like hollandaise sauce. I'll keep going, and a few minutes later, well, it's clear that this has taken all the air it's ever going to take. Again, not meringue, but that's an appealing looking substance. I wonder what would happen if we cooked it, real gently over a double boiler, like you do with hollandaise sauce. Will this become a smooth cooked custard? Nope. Too much protein, not enough sugar or fat to get in between the proteins when they cook. That's curdled, that's gross. I guess what we learned today is people cook eggs the way they do traditionally for a reason.
Yo, English people, how are you? You know you never cease to surprise me every day. And every day I'm here seeing videos, there's always something new. Like now I wonder how you have machines to do everything. Even to mix eggs. Ha! That really surprises my mind. But much love to you out there. You are loved, respected, and you should love and care for your neighbor as you do to yourself. Today I woke up feeling good with lots of good vibes and love. I'm sharing all with you wherever you're watching from. Share love to those around you too. Yo, good vibes. Let's keep watching, man. Ha! Oh, what is this now? Oh my god. Ha! Is this a person? What the heck is this? Paranormal. This isn't what? You people that know. Oh, what does this look like? Oh my god. You see, this one is full of interesting stuff and creepy stuff some I've never seen, we don't know about. What is that? Oh, much love to everything anyway and
Your plastic
everybody.
cutting board is putting millions of microplastics into your food.
Scientists found microplastics in the clouds. In the clouds, in the sky. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what that means for every living creature on Earth? We're at a point where you could get rid of every single plastic item that you have in your kitchen, which first of all would be really hard and require having a lot of money. You could get rid of all of it, never eat off of plastic plates again. There would still be microplastics in your blood. Something I think about a lot nowadays is the fact that people used to do all these things that later turned out to be slowly killing them. Like people used to eat off of lead plates. They used to use lead in paint, obviously. We used to put asbestos in houses as, insulation. And I've always thought about it from the perspective of like, wow, it's crazy that these people just had no idea, that just like didn't realize how bad those things were for you. And all this shit with microplastics is just making me rethink all of it. Like, maybe way back when, the average person actually did know that asbestos would kill you. But the average person isn't the one who's in control of that sort of thing. And we just have to sit by as giant corporations poison us. But yeah, sure, get rid of your plastic cutting boards. That'll help.
Please take care of the environment, guys.
Why? Ask the bloody question. Why are they only teaching you the history of slavery as far back as the 16th and the 17th century? Why are they only going that far back? Because they don't want you to go farther back than that, because then you'll actually find out the truth. But from the 16th and 17th century, we'll teach you about slavery. You've got to go further back. And you've got to understand and question, why did they do this throughout the whole of America, in all the public schools? Why do they only go back as far as the 16th and the 17th century to talk about slavery? We've got to go further back than that. Because Islam designed infernal slavery. And then the Ashkenazi Khazars, those who say they are Jews and are not, are the ones that marketed it. And the regal Negro nomads, exiled from the kingdom of Judah, were the main recipients of it at the hands of the indigenous black Africans. Because you've got to understand, the regal class of the house of Judah came down from Israel, and they came into the land of the black Africans. And the black Africans resented the regal class of the house of Judah in their land, because they had laws, they had customs, they had civility. And they were a regal class of Negro that came down into Africa. And later on, it was the Ashkenazi, the Islamic slave traders as well, that then worked together with the indigenous black Africans to enslave the regal house of Judah. This is what we've got to understand, but you've got to go back before the 16th century to understand the roots of it. So we're going to see, as we dig into this, where this slavery came from, because it was really a system that was very, very well crafted. There was Islamic masters, and there were white Ashkenazi Khazar ship owners. There were the buyers and the sellers. And they're not going to fill you in on all of this, but really you've got a four-tier system. Number one, you have the Negro nomads that were exiled from the kingdom of Judah. Number two, you had indigenous black African hunters that resented the regal Negro nomads that had come into their territory with their own customs, with their own laws that were different and would not assimilate into their tribal culture. They were their own tribe. They were the regal house of Judah. And number three, you had Islamic trappers that worked with the indigenous black Africans to trap the regal Negro house of Judah. And then you had them sell them to the Ashkenazi ship merchants, along with many Portuguese and British Ashkenazi. So again, we've got the four-tier system. Number one, we have the regal Negro nomadic class that are exiled from the kingdom of Judah. They are their own royal tribe in Africa. Then, number two, we have the native black African trackers. They're going to track them down. And number three, we have the Islamic trappers, because between 650 of the Common Era and 1900 of the Common Era, 10 to 20 million people were enslaved by the Arab slave traders. Over 20 million enslaved Africans were delivered through the Trans-Sahara route to the Islamic world. Can you get your head around that? That's not even touching the Americas. Over 80 million more blacks died at the hands of Islam en route. And number four, we have Ashkenazi Khazar Jewish ship merchants. And of course, the Portuguese and the British Ashkenazi were the main buyers. Islam and the Ashkenazi, those that say that they are Jews and are not, were the main sellers. Does that make sense? You've got to dig into this further. We have the two tiers right there. We have the Islamic trappers, and then we have the Ashkenazi ship merchants. You see, the Romans, they were globalist slavers. They were globalists then and now. They just migrated to Gaul, Ashkenazi, the sellers, and Britain, the British, of course, the buyers. German Jewry and British Jewry, where have they gone to? Well, they've descended upon Wall Street, upon Hollywood and Washington, D.C., as we see it right now, just to fuel this cataclysmic final war of globalism, which is none other than renaming colonialism. And this is the world that you and I live in. And I'm so sick and tired of these talking heads when it comes to the election time, trying to enslave everybody and cause racial division to try and get the votes. When ultimately, if Israel would just wake up to who's enslaving us, regardless of our skin color, he says what? I am Yahweh your Elohim that delivered you from slavery. We all need to get out from underneath this slavery system, and we need to come together as Joseph's multicolored Melchizedek cloak. But we've got to help identify who are our Jewish brothers and where are our Jewish brothers as the whole house of Israel comes together. Because Islam and the Slavic regions, I mean, where do we get these names? Yugoslavia, of course. Czechoslovakia, Slovakia, these were all regions of bestial slavery that eventually arrived on the African continent. These were areas where Islam invented infernal slavery up in those Slavic regions that then eventually arrived on the African continent, and the black regal Negroes of Judah were the recipients of it. But not only black Judah, but Europeans were even kidnapped by the Arabs and the Ashkenazi traders during the war or peace periods in the medieval times.
Oh man, you see now that's history, but you are responsible for the present and the future. Share love and peace out there, and caring, and good vibes. You see?